Hello, my name is Adam Stewart, and I still haven't shaved. It's midnight, my camera is sitting on the Lord of the Rings trilogy. My microphone is literally in a bowl, being weighed down by the first two Tomb Raider games. And I haven't eaten dinner yet, so that's what we're doing today. That's far too hot. And today, on 1 AM, Jesus Christ. Dude, relax. Right, come on. He's a catnip addict. I've got a book haul for you. A pretty big book haul, so we might be here a wee while. But it's so hot. So not only have we got this stack to get through, but we also have this stack as well. Oh Christ. So I'm just gonna dual wield it. Take one from this pile, take one from this pile, and we'll see what happens, I suppose. So please settle in and we'll have a cozy little book haul video. If you like this video and you want to see more, first of all consult a doctor, and second of all smack that like button. You know what to do, honey. So get yourself a hot bev, wind it down, get your favourite book, set it to the side and don't read it because you're currently watching this video. But then after, well, you can read it if you want after the video. I'm not in charge of you. And let's get started. Alright, let's start with The Count of Monte Cristo. It's a big boy and a classic, of course. Written by Alexander Dumas. It's part of the Vintage Classics collection, which means it has this sexy red spine. Holy Shirley Bassey, this has some amount of chapters. 1,500 pages. Gonna take me a while to get through, but here we are. In this pile, we have Slaughterhouse 5. Mostly just really wanted to get into reading more postmodern fiction after Pynchon. I just think he's so talented and I think it's such an interesting genre. And I heard Slaughterhouse 5 is probably one of the most well-known, although I don't know if everyone would call it postmodern. I haven't got a Scooby what it's about, not gonna lie. I was gonna get Breakfast of Champions as well, however I'm broke. So that's the story behind that. The Metamorphosis, among other stories. This is just a short story collection by Franz Kafka. However, I just bought it because I wanted to read Metamorphosis, and because it's probably one of the most famous short stories ever written, and this was the cheapest way to get it. And also I just really like this cover as well. I'm a man of simple pleasures. The Collector. Shout out to my friend Benji who recommended this book. Actually, he didn't recommend it. He did it for his advanced hour dissertation, told me he hated it, and that was enough for me. So Benji, this one's for you. Which pile am I putting this in again? Stoner by John Williams. I've heard this book is really boring, but in a sort of captivating way. But if it's not about weed, well, I'm going to be highly disappointed. Clara and the Sun. This is the new book from Kazuo Ishiguro, who is the author of Never Let Me Go, which I also spent money on. So I got both of these. I've never read either of them. This just recently came out, I think, the start of March. So yeah, this one's definitely very recent. Beautiful cover, beautiful page art too. And then if you open it, look at this, it's beautiful. All of my favourite colours of the rainbow. And then Never Let Me Go. This is an older dystopian novel, I believe. I haven't read it, obviously, but I've heard it's pretty good. Although I have heard mixed things. So also has a nice cover though, unfortunately. This one's just white, which is one of the worst things you can possibly be, I would know. Alright, next up we've got a book my dad gave me because he heard I wanted to read more about spirituality, and this was, I guess, his way of telling me he loved me. That made it sound like my dad doesn't love me. He doesn't, but I would never put that on YouTube. There's this book called Awareness by Anthony DeMello. I've heard it's quite a famous book about spirituality. That's literally all I know about it. Thanks, Colin, for this book. Why don't you love me? Speaking of spirituality, or philosophy, I guess, we've got arguably Nietzsche's most famous work, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Definitely a heavy read. I'm excited to get into it purely for the fact that I'm gonna feel smarter having read it. Yeah, that's literally the only reason. Now we're getting into some Japanese literature. You know how I was saying I wanted to look like I was smarter than I actually was? Well, I also wanted to look less racist than I actually was as well. Not that I am racist. I should probably cut that out. I would say probably one of the most famous Japanese authors, Yukio Mishima. If you're a fan of the PewDiePie book club, you know exactly who this guy is. So I got kind of a lot of his books. The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea. Nice short book. Definitely just like an evening read. I've heard it's a good starting point for Mishima. So duology of novels. I believe it's a trilogy. I just don't own the third one yet. I think it's called Sea of Fertility, or maybe that's what the series is called, can't remember. Anyway, my point is, I got Spring Snow, and then we have the sequel to Spring Snow, Runaway Horses, which is the sequel to Spring Snow. Again, I don't know anything about any of these books. And then finally from Mishima, we have The Temple of the Golden Pavilion, which I have heard is about a monk who burns down the... Oi. burns down the temple of the Golden Pavilion. That's all I know about it. If you guys want to see a Yukio Mishima video where I just blast through them all, you want to hear my thoughts? Well, that's absolutely something I'm prepared to do. And they also have brilliant, like, look at this look at this beautiful cover. I can't speak today. Getting into some more philosophy here. We have Man's Search for Meaning by By Viktor E. Frankl. He's a Holocaust survivor. It's a sort of testament to the human condition and the nature of hope. And I think it's about his time in concentration camp and what he learned, his experiences, I would think. So I'm actually really excited to read this. I am a massive history buff. Shout out to my higher history teacher, Gary. This one's for you. He let me call him Gary. He was sound. A new book actually just came out. We have Stephen King's Later, and something you're going to come to find out about me is that I am obsessive compulsive about Stephen King. Not that I have OCD. Hey Siri, what is OCD?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Huh. Okay, well I guess I'm not that obsessive compulsive about Stephen King, but I do have every book he's ever written, including his short stories, and this is the latest to the collection. Actually, it's not the latest to the collection, but we will get onto that later. I'm really excited to get into it. I'm a massive fan of most of King's work. Some of his stuff is absolute dog to the shit, but yeah, I am super excited. I didn't sound that excited when I said it, but I am genuinely excited. Something else I wanted to get into in the sort of spiritual world is Buddhism. So I got this huge book, ginormous. It's called In the Buddha's Words, and I think it's just sort of an anthology of all the Buddha's teachings. So I'm really excited to get into this. I don't think it's the sort of thing that I'll just sit down and read in one session. However, I just find it really interesting because personally I'm an atheist, or maybe I guess what you call an agnostic. I find it really interesting to learn about other religions and learn about other people's beliefs. Not particularly because I want to adopt them, but just because it's something that interests me. I enjoy hearing about other people's worlds and other people's lives, which is why I read so many books. Oh my god, would you believe it? So yeah, this is definitely one for maybe a full video. Maybe I'll do a video on Buddhism. Like Don Quixote, another fat, chunky book. Maybe the first postmodern novel. I don't think I know a single person that didn't enjoy this book, to be honest. It's just a classic. I've heard it's one of the funniest books ever written. I do believe I just woke my mother up. She made a sort of waking up sound. No Longer Human is another Japanese, I believe, some kind of Asian novel written by Osamu Dazai, who I wasn't familiar with until I came across this book. Again, just a book I had recommended because I was interested in Japanese literature. I've heard it's semi-autobiographical, so I'm definitely interested to get into this. Fahrenheit 911, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. And you know it's good because Obama put a review on the front of it. You know, famous book critic Barack Obama. Anyway, I'm assuming it's about fire. I don't know. And finally, I guess I better tell you about this stack. So, as I was saying earlier, my Stephen King collection is now complete. And I say that because, oh Jesus, oh God, I now own the Dark Tower series. So if you don't know the Dark Tower series, this is basically, I think King said it was like his response to the Lord of the Rings, sort of neo-modern, I wouldn't say steampunk, I don't think, but it's certainly like kind of horror mixed with fantasy elements kind of thing. There's quite a lot of them, so I suppose we better go through them. The Gunslinger, The Drawing of the Three, The Wastelands, Wizard and Glass, Wind Through the Keyhole, Wolves of the Calla, Song of Susanna, The Dark Tower. Don't fall, please don't fall. So that's it. That's the book haul, everyone. Sorry this was sort of touch and go. I'm just really trying not to wake my parents up, although I seem like I failed. Again, if you like this kind of thing, sucks to be you, I guess, because I have no more money to buy books with. However, I am gonna do a review. Oh my god, that was just like the worst delivery of anything I've ever heard. I'm gonna do a review of Stephen King's newest book, Later, I guess. That wasn't funny. And so if you want to see that, leave me a like and make sure you brush your teeth twice a day, or 3 times if you're like brushing your teeth. Also, many of you told me to read this book. It's called We Both Die in the Begin. It's called They Both Die at the End. And the interesting thing about this book is that you may notice that it's sort of beat up and looking dirty. And the reason for that is because I read it 3 years ago. Yes, that's right. I am an Adam Sylvia hipster. I actually wrote about this book for my advanced higher English dissertation. So, Get it right up to everyone that likes. Get it right up, you everyone. I may do a reread of it. So if you guys want that, let me know. I'll give you my review. I'll give you my thoughts. I think. Is that what I'm meant to do? I'm not getting paid. I don't even know what I'm doing. So yeah, I think that's the end really. If you like this video, good for you. And yeah, that's just kind of it, I guess. Also, I know that nobody probably cares, but my mother made some delicious chicken, which looks a wee bit crap now, but that's because I've been recording this video for like 45 minutes because I can never get any takes right. I still haven't shaved, and I have my copy of The Grapes of Wrath here that I stole from the school library, which I should probably stop saying on video.